Good morning, YouTube. A big presser from Stellantis yesterday brought a lot of headlines. You know, Stellantis owns a lot of automotive brands, and it's a lot. Abarth, Citroen, Fiat, Maserati, Ram trucks, Alfa Romeo, Dodge, Jeep, Opel, Vauxhall, Chrysler, DS Automobiles, Lancia, and Peugeot.
I didn't know they had that.
It's a big cluster of automakers, but they've been doing well in Europe, but they've been doing absolutely terrible in the U.S. Just terrible.
I feel like finally makes sense, this press release. Like, oh, I get it now, because we've been hearing and seeing like that they're not doing well, and now they're kind of coming out and saying it.
Correct. And it's so easy to see why. They decided that they wanted to chase margins and make these existing, what were value brands, more expensive, and thus they can make more money on higher margin vehicles. So a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which was a middle class America vehicle that like you buy a nice one for $30,000, is now $70,000.
That's insane.
And it's just stupid. So nobody is buying a Jeep Grand Cherokee when you can go buy a Toyota Highlander for $39,000, a Toyota RAV4 for $30,000. And people walk around the lots and just point this out. It's a big YouTube genre right now, just like, who is buying these cars? And the truth is, nobody is buying them. So local mom and pop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep dealerships that have been around forever are selling to big conglomerates or closing their doors. Salesmen leaving in droves. It's a huge nightmare, and it has to do with just stupid product. A Jeep Wrangler can be like $60,000 or more. I guess there's the Wrangler 392s that's almost $100,000. People are paying up for those, but the Hemi's gone. It's just so stupid. It is so stupid.
Right. So their press release is saying that they're going to sit back and kind of watch and see what happens with these brands and see who they can kind of remove.
Right.
Or sell off.
The plan is, to do a thorough review of the brands that aren't performing well and decide if they should keep them or sell them and just push it off and give up. And poor Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep has been, handed around and just failed so many times in the last few decades. It's, actually all the way back in the 70s, 80s with the fuel crunch, they went bankrupt. So, it's always been a struggling brand, but it's one of the big three automakers, a major employer in the U.S. So,
did they have Ram go off on their own company? Was that a Stellantis decision?
Yeah, I think so. It's not a Dodge Ram anymore. It's a Ram. That always bothers me. And everybody wants to call it a Dodge Ram. So it is really frustrating. So some of the headlines from this recent presser is they planned on making themselves good by Christmas. The oversupply of vehicles, the 300-plus day market day supply of Hornets, a $40,000 Italian-based Dodge crossover that nobody wants, that they're going to fix their oversupply of them by Christmas. They'll throttle everything to where it's just right, or they'll incentivize it enough, and they'll all be sold, and everything will be good
by
Christmas.
By Christmas, like, they're going to be like Oprah and just gift cars away so they don't have that backlog.
I mean, that's what they will have to do. Like, this $40,000 Hornet needs to be under $20,000.
Yeah.
It is that junky.
I don't know if I say junk, like just basic.
You can go buy a Corolla hybrid. For $23,000, $24,000, or a base Corolla for way less. No, like people are gonna, even though people don't want cars, they're buying a RAV4, they're buying a Camry, they're buying a Corolla because the Dodge Neon doesn't exist anymore for under $20,000. The Jeep Cherokee as like a basic. Anyway, it's just stupid. But their plan is to get it all good by December. And one of the ways they're doing it is just slowing down production. So they laid off 1,100 workers in Detroit. That was their big announcement. But then, yes, they will review and possibly sell some of their brands. The most likely one, I would say, is Maserati will be one that they just like.
Why is that?
Because they haven't been able to figure out anything to do with Maserati in years. And since they're no longer getting Ferrari-derived engines, I've talked about this before, how they could reimagine Maserati into something else, but it's a no-win scenario over there because they can't get the cool Ferrari-based engines anymore, and there's just no brand prestige. They're known for incredible unreliability, and depreciation,
Right.
and like the Ghibli and all the low price cars they've come out with have sort of become a punchline and not like something to aspire towards.
Right. Well, I think the world almost is ready to turn the page on how cars are made and you know, obviously electric cars. And so we're at the standstill of like, what are we going to do? Are we going to turn the page hard and just get rid of all the ICE cars? Or are we going to still put fuel in them and just kind of let them take their paths too? I don't know.
I hope not. But yeah, the sales volume is pretty terrible. So for Dodge and Chrysler, year to year, sales are down 47% and 43%.
47. Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
How are they still in business anyway? That's insane. That's a lot.
Overall, sales are dropped 20%. Just overall. So the Ram trucks are still doing okay, but they're getting rid of all of the old classic Hemi. They call it the Ram Classic with the Hemis. And they've been incentivizing them, selling them cheap.
Right.
And I think that's going to prop them up for a little bit. And then this 2025 model that they have, forget about it.
I think the Silverado EV just kind of like woke everyone up.
Yeah.
And we're saying like, this is the direction that we may be going. I'm curious over the next 6 months on the sales of those and if people and work trucks are usually going to be turning into that.
Right. Well, the descendant of the Chrysler family wants to buy back Chrysler and he has a plan to save it and all that stuff. But if you were buying a brand from Stellantis, what brand would you buy?
I don't know. I think, let me look back on...
Yeah, there's a big list. Yes, a lot of them.
There's a huge list. And, I think obviously Maserati has such like a long history. I'm be so sad to see that go.
If you're a billionaire and you want to become a millionaire, you would buy Maserati. Yeah,
of
great.
course. Yeah, thank you. I don't know. I think Fiat would be fun.
Well, Fiat's their core brand with Stellantis. There's no way that Italian-based company is going to sell it.
You didn't put any rules on what I could buy. I'm a billionaire, okay?
The American ones are going to struggle. So they're probably like, okay, we would sell Dodge and Ram, we would sell Jeep, we would sell Maserati for sure, even though it's Italian.
I don't want to see Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Chrysler just kind of mellow out like Pontiac did, Oldsmobile. I don't want to see them go away. So I would love for them to sell that to someone who's super energetic and wants to actually put those brands back on top.
So Jeep.
You're going with Jeep?
Jeep would be one that I would love to take back.
And you're going to kick off the Wagoneer from
the Wagoneer can go away. Like the Wagoneer can go away. The $8 billion Grand Cherokee can go away. Like it's stupid.
Right.
Very stupid. And the Cherokee name is still there, but kill the current Cherokee. Bring back the old XJ box Cherokee because everybody's buying the box Land Cruisers, the box G-Wagons, but obviously cheaper versions. They're making smaller, cheaper versions. You bring back the Cherokee in a modern platform, very basic, very bare bones. People are screaming for this.
Right.
Just an infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay and off-road toughness, and you're just well built. It doesn't have to be solid front axles. I'm not that crazy, but because that would have its limitations. But that sort of platform.
Yeah.
Easy.
Affordable.
So it'd be like a counter for the Ford Maverick. And the Ford Maverick starts at $20,000 as a hybrid that gets 40 miles to the gallon.
Right.
Something like that from Jeep. That is a rugged crossover. Boom. Instant hit.
Right.
And you can do nicer ones and make more money in margins that way, but you just start mass producing that again. And yeah, I get it. You're not selling a $70,000 car and making more money. You're going to have to sell, 5 of these to make the same money, but you're selling cars at least. You're selling cars. And you can use that same platform to bring back the Dodge Dakota.
Really? You're bringing the Dakota back?
The Dakota comes back.
The Dakota.
The Dakota comes back as a direct Maverick competitor.
Right.
For sure. And it becomes part of that fleet use, part of everything else that, people are buying for their businesses and things, sort of like what the Maverick is right now. Direct competitor, boom, boom.
So
very beginning.
With this Cherokee, because I'm like imagining it, are you talking about putting performance in it too, or just super big? Because the more performance, the more expensive it's going to be.
It can be this. They can do fun versions in limited quantities. They can do a Dakota Sport, a Dakota RT again. They can do the same thing with the Jeep if they want a lowered one. But I mean that's going to be more of an off-road brand. So I don't know about that. But very, very easy to fix that, turn it around. Just if they cared. I mean, Dodge, you bring back the neon. And you bring back the neon as
really? The neon?
Yeah, Neelix, don't you agree with me? Oh, he's running away. But
she
yeah.
is a girl.
Oh, yeah,
she
that's
had
right.
kittens, remember?
That's right. Bring back the neon.
Really? Jake, would you bring back the neon?
Yeah.
You too?
Bring
Both
back
of
the
you?
neon as the most ridiculous hybrid ever.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This thing is $20,000.
Right.
And it gets 100 miles to the gallon.
What was so special about the neon that both of you are like, oh, bring it back?
It was cheap and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was just a fun, cheap American car.
Are you talking about me or the neon? Okay, sorry.
Anyway, I'm getting distracted. The neon. There's Dodge's savior right there. Obviously, people aren't buying his cars as much. So there needs to be a crossover version of it. So you bring back the Durango as it was, the pretty Durango of the '90s and 2000s that was smaller. Because the big Durango, it's big. It's not the same thing. And there it is. There's your base lineup for cars that people actually want.
Right.
They actually want to buy these things. And then, yes, you can cater off for some of these luxury brands and all that stuff, but retool your massive production towards the average MSRP on these, like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. It's moronic. How they thought this was going to work with, the average household income being this and your car being twice that, and how they thought they were going to. It's just disgusting. It's just so stupid.
Right.
I don't understand.
Right. No, I don't get it either, and I have to agree with you. I think that would be really cool. Especially the Cherokee. Let's bring that down. Let's get a base model and get that back out there. Make it really boxy because that's the trend.
Right.
And I think we figured this out.
Yep. We just staved Stellantis. The problem is it would take 5 years for all this to turn around for, design, manufacture, release, and all that stuff, because the pipeline of products is that long.
Right.
So, yeah. Anyway, they're in a bad way. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to hire me as the least qualified CEO to do this, I got it. I guess I have an office back here. We could make it happen.